Have the Boston Celtics reached their peak? Do I think the Celtics have reached their peak? Unfortunately, yes, guys. I believe the Celtics, they've actually reached their peak. It's been an amazing run, man. What's our current record? Like 38-20 now. Last night's loss against the Chicken Nuggets kind of disqualified us. Not kinda. Not kinda. It did disqualify us from Phil Jackson's 40-20 rule for contender. A team must win 40 games and before they lose 20 for them to be considered a true contender. We lost to the Denver Chicken Nuggets, and listen, I feel like a pattern has been emerging or has been going on throughout the season where Boston coming up against elite teams, just struggling to get it done now. We're now 2-29 against the top three seeded teams in both the East and the Western Conference. In the East, Detroit Pistons, Cavs, I believe, and New York Knicks. In the West, you got OKC, of course, San Antonio Spurs, and the Houston Rockets. And not to mention, we dropped both games to Denver Nuggets, with especially that loss the other night. We dropped 2 games to the Chicken Nuggets this season. So, and like that's not even accounting for them being a top 3 seed in the West. And we all know they are a top team, an elite team in the NBA. And I'm just making the video really just to kind of point out. I just kind of feel like, man, like, this is as far as we could expect the Celtics to go, really. I don't really see the Celtics going any higher. I don't really see us being the first seed. We're like, 6 games behind now at the time of recording this video on the 26th of February. We're like 5-6 games behind the Detroit Pistons. I think that's going to stay that way. Like 1 more month left of hoops. I don't really see a massive dip from the Pistons like that. We could, we could fall away off that second seed, It's been us and the Knicks really have been in constant battle, There's been a lot of switcheroonies, a lot of switchovers for that second seed. But even the Cavs, with the re-emergence of James Harden, I know he picked up the injury the other night. I don't know how serious that is. If it's a knock and it's like a game-to-game basis, then you do expect the Cavs to put on a run to try and increase their seed in the East. But it's like, man, yeah, I just feel like, Celtics at this point in time have reached their peak, Shout out Luffy. This is my peak and all, but yeah, man, I just feel like this is as far like the Celtics could go, like as far, man, pains me to even say. Last point about us having a poor record against the elite teams, we haven't played the OKC yet, which is still crazy, innit? So I think that is actually taken into account the Denver Nuggets. But we haven't even played OKC yet, and we're in March. Like, yo, Adam Silver, wake up, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? I'm trying to see JV versus SGA. Like, I've been waiting all season for this, by the way. I'm going to be dropping another vid, about Jaylen Brown MVP. Probably after this one. But I'm trying to see something in the MVP showdown. Between SGA and... Why the hell are we waiting all the way till March, the last full month of NBA action for Jaylen Brown versus SGA, bro? We haven't played OKC all season. That's crazy. But, yeah, man. Kind of relating back to the point about Boston having a poor record against the elite teams in the NBA this season. Coming into the playoffs, I ain't gonna lie. It's only gonna get tougher. It's only gonna get harder for us if we're unable to beat the best teams, because they're gonna get better. All the teams, they're gonna elevate. They're gonna take it to another level. They got gears, that they could switch on to. Defense being played is gonna get tighter. Offense is expected to be better. The game becomes a half-court game. With our inability to just get wins against the elite teams, man, I don't really see that changing in the playoffs, unfortunately. We're like, what? Just, bro, forget about the Western Conference teams, because I don't even think we're going to be making it to the finals without a certain somebody coming back, right? And even then, that's a question mark, because I wouldn't really want to force that issue. But it's like, taking things into account in the East, like I don't know our record with the Knicks this season, but it's a losing record, right? The Pistons have flipping smoked. They've been kicking out at ASS all season, bro. Up, down, left, right, north. Bro, oh man, I'm tired, by the way. North. Wait, what the? Hold on. North. I'm not editing this, innit? North. No. Oh my gosh. Northeast, southwest. Yeah, I got that right. Yeah, northeast, southwest, up, down, left, right, northeast, southwest. Pistons been, bro. Regardless, innit? Pistons been kicking our butts in this season. Like we have a 1-3 record against the Pistons, as well. So like, I'm not even looking at the Western Conference teams because I don't even think we'll make it out. Just looking in house in our own conference, I just believe, yeah, man, we're struggling with those to beat those teams. Looking at the players as well, I believe that. Listen, they've been hooping all season. I think this is the best they could possibly play. I can't really see any extra levels from any of these guys apart from maybe Jaylen Brown. Looking at Derek White, he's had a subpar season compared to his previous seasons. Derek White. Yeah, and I kind of like, listen, I'm not saying he's having a bad season, but compared to his previous seasons, he has taken a dip, and I don't really see that improving in the playoffs. Peyton Pritchard has had an amazing season, if you ask me. But I just, again, translating that into the playoffs consistently, I can't see that. The role plays that we've had, I just believe, bro, the playoffs for Walsh and Harper and all these guys, Garza maybe even, it might be a lot for these guys, KR, I just feel like it might be a lot, especially against the elite teams. Like if we meet the Knicks in the second round, which, bro, it's probably most likely going to happen, right? It's going to be a lot for these guys. I cannot only see Jaylen Brown as the only person in this roster to kind of take the extra steps, Jaylen Brown's averaging like 30, man, having an amazing season again, having an MVP season. Even him, though, like, historically, superstar numbers, this is not even a knock on Jaylen Brown, but it's just like superstars as well. What they average in the regular season, it's kind of hard for them to average that in the playoffs. I am expecting Jaylen Brown to be averaging like 25 to 27 points in the playoffs this season, alongside with maybe like 6 rebounds and 4 assists, which is actually a good return. That's an amazing return for a playoff run, right? But it's just with what he's having to lead, essentially, what he has behind him, I just don't think the supporting cast is really strong enough, for that. Which is why, next point, I can't see the Celtics going anywhere without Jason Tatum this season, unfortunately, for all the reasons I just literally stated. The supporting cast just not being strong enough compared to the elite teams or compared to our competition. It ain't strong enough. Jaylen Brown this season, can you imagine? This is another reason why Jaylen Brown should be MVP. He, out of all the MVP candidates, Wemby, Luka, even if you don't want to count Luka, right? I'm counting, this is my top 5, Wemby, Cade, Jokic, Brown, SGA. All of those guys I've just called out are playing with an all-star, at least one all-star caliber player, or a player that has been nominated to the all-star event this season. All of them bar Jaylen Brown, So, like, that just goes to show, like, the burden Jaylen Brown's carrying this season. And it's like, yeah, man, I feel like Tatum is needed, Tatum's needed, I can't really see the Celtics going anywhere far I can't really see the Celtics doing anything with a 10 this season in the postseason without Jason Tatum. We do need the help. I ain't gonna lie, But we do. We do. Folks are crashing out on Vucevic after the Denver Nuggets game. Guys, listen, this is like his second week in the Celtics uniform. Give the guy a break, bro. Do you know how many weeks Anthony Simons was stinking up the gaff at the start of the season, and then he started to hoop. Like, come on, man. I know, like, listen, Celtics are associated with greatness, and when we lose, it can be a bit crazy at times, but guys, slow down. This is his second week, innit? Give the guy time. I still think that's a decent trade for the future. Like, I think him and Tatum could cook next season. Ain't gonna lie, I think him and Tatum could do something. I think that was a decent trade. We did need a big man. Like, I feel like we are a bit, okay, I wouldn't say guard heavy, but we did need a big man. But going back onto what I was trying to say, yeah, man, we need Tatum. If we're gonna do anything serious this postseason, if Tatum comes back, I got us making it out of the East. If you don't, again, man, I just feel like the supporting cast that we have at the moment, It just ain't good enough. At least to kind of do something serious. And not to knock these guys again, because if you ask me, this has still been an amazing season. I don't want to say successful now because we the Boston Celtics, right? Championships. It's championship or nothing. If you ain't championship, then you know, if we're not putting something up in the rafters, then it can't go down as a success. But I just feel like it will be an amazing season from player development point of view, from changing the narratives. Joe Mazzulla establishing himself as a supreme elite coach. Like, if he wasn't already, now he's definitely sitting on that table with the top echelon of coaches in the league. Jaylen Brown showing that he can be a superstar, top 10 level player in the NBA, MVP caliber player on a lot of nights, right? So yeah, we do need Tatum though, I ain't gonna lie. And onto the team situation. With me saying we need Tatum, all that being said, I still want to bring the guy back this season. That's crazy. Like, I've been saying the whole video, we need Tatum back. I still want to bring the guy back. You guys let me know. What do you guys think? But me personally, again, I just feel like the risk of bro, like literally the regular season, like I said, there's only one more full month left of the regular season. It don't really make sense to me. Maybe like the understanding I'm getting is they see a potential window for us to do something crazy in the playoffs, which kind of makes sense. But again, though, I just feel like that ain't really worth it. Short-term potential short-term gain. But in the long run, Tatum comes back this season, he aggravates that injury again, and then that injury just niggles with him, or just, stays around him his whole career, and then he doesn't, or he struggles to become the Jason Tatum we know of pre-injury. Like all those concerns, would he like him coming back mess up the establishment, the connections, the dynamics that's already been built throughout majority of this season? Cause Tatum, man, like this ain't no regular role player coming back into the rotation, bro. Like this is the MVP, best player in the world if you ask me, Jason Tatum, right? That's like 30 plus minutes already taken into the rotation. That's gonna have a huge domino effect, rippling effect onto the rotation. Players we need to accommodate for his playing style and whatnot, post-season injury. Tatum, it's all gonna be crazy, right? People are saying Tatum coming off the bench, but bro, like, I just feel like nah, man. I just feel like Tatum coming off the bench, nah, bro. I feel like we might as well just sit him out for the season and bring him back next season. But hey, man, this one is just to say, express my feelings at least that I just feel like the Celtics have reached their peak, man. And we do need Tatum if we are going to do something serious in this post-season. But at the end, taking everything I've said into account, I still wouldn't bring the guy back. But hey, listen, that's just my thoughts and opinions, guys. You guys let me know yours.